Sympathy for Lady Vengeance is a movie about a woman that embarks on a revenge spree to kill the man who framed her for the murder of a child that he committed. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill revenge story, and although it's interesting, I wouldn't say it was necessarily memorable until the third act. Because in the third act, the woman has the man trapped and ready to kill, but she realizes that this isn't the only kid that he killed. In fact, there are multiple kids that have been murdered by this guy, and there were videotapes of him doing it all. Instead of getting angry and prideful, she decides to gather all the parents of the murdered children, making them watch the tapes of the murders, and then make them decide what to do with him. And after extensive debate, full of agony and crying, they all decide to talk with the guy. And after they talked, they ate some celebratory cake and lived happily ever after. What I'm trying to say is, women are complicated. You see, if it was me or any other guy that was in the movie, we would have just beat the shit out of him to make ourselves feel good. Men like me are driven by pride. You kill my father, now I kill you. We're pretty simple, but if a woman wants to kill you, she will. You just gotta get to know her first, make her feel special, take her out to dinner, and she'll decide, did I connect with him? Did he make me laugh? Was he a gentleman? There's a way that women think that I just don't, and it wasn't until I started analyzing how I view them that I started realizing why I feel this way.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're right, we should not be dating.
A few months ago, I realized that I was kind of a misogynist, and I can't really pinpoint a reason for this, but in order to cure my misogyny, I decided to read a feminist novel called Breasts and Eggs by Miyako Kawakami, a pop singer turned author. The book was even co-signed by one of my favorite authors, Haruki Murakami, so I thought, okay, maybe I can understand a woman better by reading this. I read about the first 100 pages, and I thought to myself, if the author was ugly, would I have even bothered to read this book? Now, my introduction to feminism could have been bell hooks or any of those green-haired women with dirty legs, but it was Miss Kawakami when I saw her interview and I was moved and I wanted to know more about her, and I realized that the only reason I picked up her book was because of her natural beauty. And I'm ashamed to admit it, but without even thinking about it, I objectified this woman. And after coming to this conclusion, I realized something else. Haruki Murakami is a very boomer, cafe, jazzy, black cat, cozy type author, and even though his writing style is sweet and minimal, he's rubbed off many feminists the wrong way because he objectifies women a lot in his novels. And one of the feminists that he rubbed off the wrong way was Kawakami herself, as in 2017 he did an interview with her to try to reconcile his sexism. And after reading it, I came to the conclusion that he probably knows he's sexist, it's just that he doesn't really care. And when I saw that he co-signed the author that criticized his work for being too sexist, I was like, did he have the same thought process as I did? Now, obviously, he'll never admit this because he's too classy and revered, but think about it like this. Why would you co-sign a competitor that's trying to delegitimize your work unless you're trying to sleep with them? I'm sorry. I had to drop the book after coming to this realization because I didn't want to be disrespectful to the ugly people whose books I'll never read. And pondering this, I realized just how much of a sucker I really am, because it seems that I only find sympathy for women that I find attractive. An ugly girl can cry all she wants, I don't really care, I might rub her shoulder or some shit. But like if a pretty girl is crying, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna put my jacket around her, I'm gonna get her a drink, I'm gonna be her therapist, I'm gonna be her savior. And I know that makes me sound like a fucking asshole, but I need to be honest with myself even when I'm the bad guy, and I swear to God I'm trying to correct it too. But at the same time, you can't really blame me because there's no TV show where the fat girl gets kissed awake by Prince Charming. Not a single one. I blame society for my viewpoint. Us men, we're suckers. We really are. We either show it by being an incel or hide it by being red pill. It's a tragic reality that we're forced to live as long as our dicks work, and we think that approval comes from the pursuit of wealth, power, and fame, something that most of the women I've seen in my life never really pursue, because on average they just seem naturally happier. And the best comparison I can make when it comes to the differences between each gender comes from none other than Breaking Bad. Walter White is an overqualified science teacher that gets little broed by everyone in his life. His son doesn't really respect him, his brother-in-law is clearly the better man with the better stories, the better house, and the better job, and his friends from school run $1 billion company while he takes home a measly $43,000 a year. But even with all the shittiness in his life, his wife Skylar still loves him, because what he sees in himself, Skylar doesn't really see that. She sees a man that loves her and her kids, is loyal, and is caring, and passionate.
Yes! 56! Oh.
Yeah, he may not be the alpha, rich, six-pack abs or is incredibly handsome, but that doesn't matter to Skylar because he's there, he's attentive, he cares. But Walter doesn't really feel that way. He feels like a burden, like he's not doing enough, and he always felt that way but didn't do anything about it, until he got cancer and finally faced that part of himself. And when given an opportunity to grasp it all, he takes it, and takes it, and keeps taking it. Okay, maybe that's too far. Oh no, he keeps taking it. With men, there is never enough. You can always look better, make more money, be more famous, be more powerful. It's a never-ending climb to whatever the top may be. That's why we offer ourselves at almost a 2-to-1 ratio than women do. With the pursuit of an empire, he loses himself. Or maybe that's who he always was. Nevertheless, Walter doesn't realize how good he has it until he loses it all. The last thing he does with his family is caress his infant daughter and admit to his wife that he did it for him, that he was good at it, that he liked it. He had a good thing, but he fucked it up because that's who he is. I can't enjoy a good thing without thinking about other good things that I could be enjoying. I have the same problem. I'm chasing something, and I don't even know what it is. As men, we fuck up good things if you let us. If two people are happy in a relationship, it's almost always the man that's gonna fuck it up. Matter of fact, I fucked one up before the start of this video. She asked me about my dreams and I said, go fuck yourself. I routinely laugh at people, especially women that try to psychoanalyze me. You said I need therapy? I said you're right, but if they cure me, will I become boring? Even after understanding how fucked it up Walter fucked it up, I still think he's kind of admirable. If I was in his position, I'd probably start selling drugs too. I probably would have lied to my family in the exact same way. I probably would have killed Gus the exact same way. I probably would have died in the exact same fetal position as well. And I know that's toxic, but keep in mind I've cried and laughed in the exact same way Walter did when he found out Gus was gonna kill his entire family. Except I did it because I lagged out of 2K. I realized that the reason for my suckerness for beautiful women is because of my need to have an empire. I got a taste of it and I want more. More money, more power, more fame leads to better looking women. And I realize I've become incredibly shallow because of it. And that's probably the type of woman I'll attract as well. But I'll worry about that later. When they bring me my money. I'm gonna die alone.